Okay, good morning. This is your first appearance hearing before the Magistrate Court of Clayton County. My name is Gardner, and I'm a judge in this court. I am not here to conduct a trial of your case or to take a plea in your case. I am here to inform you of the charges that have been filed against you, to advise you of certain rights, to set bail on those offenses that I'm authorized to set bail, to schedule a preliminary, and to determine whether you require the assistance of an attorney. You have the right to remain silent and say nothing. But should you give up this right, anything you say during this proceeding may be used against you if your case goes to trial. So please don't discuss the facts of your case. During this and all other proceedings, you have the following rights: the right to the presumption of innocence, the right to indictment by a grand jury for most felonies or by accusation for misdemeanors, the right to a speedy and public trial by jury, the right to see, hear, and question witnesses who are called to testify against you, the right to compel the attendance of witnesses to testify on your behalf, the right to testify on your own behalf or offer evidence in your own defense, the right to have an attorney represent you. If you cannot afford an attorney, one can be appointed to represent you if you qualify. Some of you will be allowed to post unrestricted bonds for your release from jail. These bonds may be posted by cash, commercial, or property. If you post a cash bond, someone will deliver the full amount of the bond and fees in cash to the sheriff's office. The sheriff's office will hold the cash and return it to you at the end of your case. If you use a commercial bonding company, someone will have to pay a fee to the company for their service. The fee will not be returned. I don't know what fee will be charged, but it is usually based upon a percentage of the bond. Finally, if you use property to post a bond, the property will need to have a net equity at least 3 times the total amount of the bond. Some of you will have special conditions on your bond that prohibit you from contacting certain people or going to certain places. This special condition will be provided to you on a separate form. You will also be prohibited from contacting the victim while you are in jail. If you violate the court's order, your bond will be revoked and you could remain in jail until your trial. You could also receive additional felony charges. It is important to note that if someone is listed as a victim in your case, that person will not be allowed to post your bond. Some of you are charged with offenses for which this court is not authorized by law to set bail. In this event, a bond hearing will be scheduled before a judge of the Superior Court of Clayton County, and you will be informed of that date. If you are currently on active probation, this court is not authorized to set bond at this time. Whether bond is appropriate in your case will be reconsidered after your probation officer has had an opportunity to consider this new arrest. The purpose of a preliminary hearing is to determine whether there is sufficient evidence to support the allegations against you. The standard at this stage is very low. A judge determining whether a charge goes forward at this stage only has to determine that it is possible that the crime has occurred. Everyone has the ability to waive their right to a preliminary hearing. However, you should speak to a lawyer first if you are unsure about whether it is appropriate to waive your preliminary hearing. If you post bond, your preliminary hearing is automatically waived. You will receive notice at the address you give of your next court date. Finally, I need everyone to raise their right hand. Do you swear or affirm any statements that you make during this proceeding will be the truth, the whole truth, so help you God?
So help me God.
Okay. Ms. Bermudez, we have a couple of people that we need to take care of before we get to you. So give me 1 second.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay, tell me your name, sir.
Suleiman Bakar.
Okay.
I'm picked on. I could be a police officer, anything, don't remember, I'm picked on. I'm in the military. Okay.
Okay, Mr. Bakar, you've been charged with 1 count of criminal trespass.
Oh, no, cookie girl. Okay.
I've set the bond at $3,000. Do you believe you can post that bond?
No,
Mr.
I
Bakar?
cannot get on.
Okay. You are going to have a preliminary hearing date that's going to be set for May 4th at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out.
Y'all gonna make me suffer that long, you I'm on marijuana.
It appears you do qualify for the appointment of a lawyer, Mr. Bakar. Would you
Yes,
like
sir.
to appoint a lawyer to help you, to assist you in this case?
Asking for help. I could be a police officer, anything. I'm in the military.
Listen to what the judge saying. Listen to what he's saying.
I'm asking for help.
Okay, Mr. Bakar, I'm going to appoint a lawyer to assist you in this case. And the lawyer will contact you. You have a bond that has been set.
I cannot afford that bond, sir.
Oh, okay. Mr. Bakar,
Yes, like I said, I'm picked on, I'm retarded.
Listen.
Okay.
Go ahead, John.
so Mr. Bakar, I've appointed a lawyer to assist you. I believe the lawyer will help you to be able to get out of jail and get the assistance that you need. So at this point, I'm gonna say that you can go back and the lawyer will contact you, okay?
But I'm suffering.
I'm sorry, Mr. Bakar, I didn't understand that. Okay, is Mr. Bakar, is he ready to go back?
Go back, John.
Okay, let's send Mr. Bakar back.
Yes, John.
And who was the other person?
Mr. Smith.
Mr. Smith, give me 1 second, Mr. Smith. Okay, Mr. Smith, you've been charged with 1 count of driving a vehicle without the license on your person, and 1 count of giving a false name, address, or date of birth, and 1 count of driving on a suspended license. You're gonna have a total bond set at $4,000. Do you believe you can post that bond, Mr. Smith?
Sir.
You're gonna have a preliminary hearing date set for May 4th at 8:30 in the morning. But that date is gonna get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Do you want me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer, Mr. Smith?
No, sir.
Okay, so you're gonna represent yourself or you're gonna hire your own lawyer?
No, Lord.
Okay. If you don't have any questions for me, Mr. Smith, you're free to go back.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. So who are the individuals? Let's start on the male side first, and then we'll switch to the female side, and then we can continue on their side. So who are the people on the male side that need the services of the interpreter?
Mr. Garcia
Okay, Garcia.
and Mr. Osorio. His last name is spelled Xula.
Okay, he's the last person on my list.
Yes, those two on the male side, Your Honor.
Okay, so let's start with Mr. Garcia.
Okay.
Mr. Garcia, can you hear and understand the interpreter?
Señor García, ¿puede usted escuchar y entender a la intérprete?
Sí.
Yes.
Mr. Garcia, this is your first appearance hearing before the Magistrate Court of Clayton County.
Señor García, esta es su comparecencia inicial ante el Tribunal de Primera Instancia del Condado de Clayton.
I'm not here to try your case or to take a plea in your case.
Yo no estoy acá para tener un juicio en su caso o para aceptar una declaración a cargos en su caso.
I am here to inform you of the charges that have been filed against you, to advise you of certain rights, to set bail on those offenses that I'm authorized to set bail, and to schedule a preliminary hearing.
I'm sorry, Judge.
You need me to break it down?
Can you break it down for me?
Yes, ma'am. I am here to inform you of the charges that have been filed against you.
Yo estoy acá para informarle de cuáles son los cargos que se han formulado en su contra,
To advise you of certain rights,
para decirle cuáles son sus derechos,
to set bail on those offenses that I'm authorized to set bail,
para otorgarle fianza en aquellos delitos que se me permite otorgarle fianza,
to schedule a preliminary hearing,
para programar una audiencia preliminar
and to determine whether you require the assistance of an attorney.
y para determinar si usted va a necesitar la asistencia de un abogado.
You have the right to remain silent and say nothing.
Usted tiene el derecho de permanecer en silencio y no decir nada,
But should you give up this right, anything you say during this proceeding may be used against you if your case goes to trial.
pero si usted renuncia a este derecho, cualquier cosa que usted diga durante este proceso podría ser usada en su contra si su caso va a juicio.
So please don't discuss the facts of your case.
O sea que por favor no hable de los hechos de su caso.
During this and all other proceedings, you have the following rights.
Durante este y todos los otros procesos, usted tiene los siguientes derechos.
The right to the presumption of innocence.
El derecho a la presunción de inocencia,
The right to indictment by a grand jury for most felonies or by accusation for misdemeanors.
el derecho a que se le acuse formalmente por el jurado indagatorio para la mayoría de los delitos graves o que se le formule una acusación por un delito menor.
The right to a speedy and public trial by jury.
El derecho de tener un juicio público rápido y por jurado.
The right to see, hear, and question witnesses who are called to testify against you.
El derecho de ver, escuchar y contrainterrogar a los testigos que sean citados para testificar en su contra.
The right to compel the attendance of witnesses to testify on your behalf.
El derecho de obligar a los testigos a que vengan a testificar a su favor.
The right to testify on your own behalf or offer evidence in your own defense.
El derecho de testificar a su favor o de presentar pruebas para ser usadas en su defensa.
The right to have an attorney represent you.
El derecho de tener un abogado para que los represente.
If you cannot afford an attorney, one can be appointed to represent you if you qualify.
Si usted no puede contratarse su propio abogado, se le podría nombrar uno si usted califica.
In your instance, Mr. Garcia, you've been charged with one count of driving without a license.
En su caso, señor García, a usted se le acusa de un cargo de manejar sin licencia de conducir.
The bond for that offense is $1,000.
Y la fianza por ese delito es de $1,000.
Do you believe you can post that bond, sir?
¿Cree usted que va a poder pagar esta fianza, señor?
¿Puedo pagar hoy?
¿Perdón?
¿Puedo pagarlo hoy?
Can I pay it today?
Yes, sir.
Sí, señor.
Ok. ¿Y me dejan en libertad?
If they let me go free,
Upon posting the bond, you will be allowed to go free.
tan pronto usted paga la fianza, a usted lo van a dejar en libertad.
You can post that bond, Mr. Garcia, by paying the entire amount to the sheriff's department, and they will return that amount when your case is over.
Usted puede pagar esta fianza, señor García, llevando la cantidad total de su fianza a la comisaría y ellos les reembolsarían ese dinero cuando su caso termine.
You can also use a commercial bonding company where you would pay a fee to that bonding company and the fee will not be returned to you.
Usted también podría usar una compañía fiancista para que pague la fianza por usted, pero usted le tendría que pagar a esta compañía una tarifa, pero esa tarifa no le sería reembolsada.
The fee of the bonding company is roughly 10% of the bond amount.
La tarifa que las compañías fiancistas cobran es más o menos 10% de la cantidad total de su fianza.
I don't know the exact amount, but you would need to speak to the bonding companies to find out what fee they will charge you.
Yo no sé cuál es la cantidad exacta, pero usted tendría que hablar directamente con la compañía fiancista para ver cuál sería la tarifa que ellos le cobrarían.
The fee will not be returned to you.
Pero esta tarifa no le sería reembolsada.
You can also use property to post a bond,
También usted puede usar una propiedad para pagar su fianza.
but the property would have to have a value at least 3 times the amount of the bond, and in your case, at least $3,000 to $4,000.
Pero la propiedad tendría que tener en valor por lo menos 3 veces la cantidad total de su fianza, y en su caso serían unos $3,000 o $4,000.
You also have the right to a preliminary hearing.
Usted también tiene el derecho de tener una audiencia preliminar.
And in your case, the preliminary hearing date will be set for May 4th at 8:30 in the morning.
Y en su caso, la audiencia preliminar estaría fija para el día 4 de mayo a las 8:30 de la mañana.
That preliminary hearing date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you will get a new court date in the mail.
Pero esta audiencia preliminar se cancela tan pronto usted salga bajo fianza y a usted le enviaría un nuevo citatorio por correo.
Would you like me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
¿Usted quiere que yo vea si usted califica para nombrarle un abogado?
De hecho, yo tenía un dinero aquí en mi pantalón que traje.
No le escucho, señor.
En mi pantalón traigo mi dinero y si es posible, no sé si me puedan tomarlo de ahí para poder pagar mi fianza.
I have the money in my pants, and I don't know if they can take it from there to pay for my bond.
I don't know the answer to that question, Mr. Garcia, but you should ask the officials at the sheriff's department.
Yo no tengo la respuesta para esa pregunta, señor García, pero usted le debe preguntar a los oficiales en la comisaría.
Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
¿Usted quiere que yo vea si usted califica para nombrarle un abogado?
Por favor,
¿Perdón?
por favor.
Please.
Are you currently employed, Mr. Garcia?
Señor García, ¿está usted trabajando actualmente?
Sí.
Yes.
Approximately how much did you make per hour?
Aproximadamente, ¿cuánto gana usted por hora?
Gano 18. 18.
I make $18.
Okay, you do qualify, Mr. Garcia. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you.
Ok, señor García, usted sí califica y yo le voy a nombrar un abogado para que lo represente.
The law firm that will represent you is named Lister and Holt.
El bufete de abogados que lo va a representar se llama Lister and Holt.
If you do not hear from them by Monday or Tuesday, you should call their office and tell them that they have been appointed to represent you.
Si usted no escucha nada de ellos para el lunes o martes, usted debe llamar a la oficina y decirles que a ellos los nombraron para que los representaran a usted.
Do you have
Any other questions for me, Mr. Garcia?
¿Tiene usted alguna otra pregunta para mí, señor García?
Son $1,000 de la fianza ahorita.
Right now, my bond is $1,000, right?
Yes, sir. But there are fees that the sheriff's department is required to add to your bond that will increase the amount a little bit above $1,000, but I don't have access to that, so it will be a little bit more.
Sí, señor García, pero hay tarifas que la comisaría está obligado a cobrarle, lo cual va a aumentar un poco esta cantidad, pero yo no le puedo decir exactamente cuánto sería.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, any other questions, sir?
Okay, ¿alguna otra pregunta, señor?
So, gracias.
That's all. Thank you.
Okay, who is the next person on them? You're free to go back, Mr. Garcia.
Puede retirarse, señor García.
Who's the next person?
His last name is Xula. He's the last.
Okay. Okay, sir, did you hear and understand the conversation I had with Mr. Garcia about his rights?
Señor, ¿pudo usted escuchar y entender la conversación que yo tuve con el señor García con referencia a sus derechos? Yes.
So, sir, you've been charged with 7 offenses
Señora, a
that
usted
are
se le han imputado
felonies.
7 cargos. I'm sorry, Judge.
No, that he's been charged with 7 offenses that are felonies.
A usted se le han imputado 7 delitos graves.
And do you understand what you've been charged with?
¿Entiende usted de lo que se le acusa?
La verdad que no, porque yo no sé hasta dónde ha llegado, ¿verdad? Solo a mí fue que me registraron el Facebook y ellos encontraron cosas, pero
The truth is that I don't know, because I don't know how far this has gone. The thing is that they searched on my Facebook and they found some things.
Yes, and these charges were drawn up in, it says that this occurred on December 22nd of 2019.
Y estos cargos fueron imputados y dice que esto ocurrió el 22 de diciembre del 2019.
pues la mera verdad que a mí me trajeron para acá. Yo la mera verdad no sé por qué yo estoy acá. Sí me dijeron y yo expliqué que cómo están las cosas, pero me mandaron para acá.
The truth is that they brought me here, and I don't know why and how the things are going, but they brought me over here.
So for your protection, sir, I will not discuss the charges if you do not want me to discuss the actual charges.
Señor, para su protección, yo no quiero hablar de los cargos si usted no quiere hablar de los cargos. ¿Sí comprendió?
No tanto, pero yo no sé por qué es lo que tengo que hacer o la verdad es que yo no sé.
No a whole lot. But the thing is that I don't know what is it I'm supposed to do.
So at this stage, my job is to inform you of your charges, to inform you of future court dates, and to appoint a lawyer if you desire to have a lawyer appointed.
En esta etapa, yo debo de informarle cuáles son sus cargos, decirle cuándo va a ser su próxima corte y nombrarle a un abogado.
Okay. ¿Está bien?
That's fine.
Okay, so for these charges, I have denied bond.
Por estos cargos, yo le he negado la fianza.
I'm going to set a preliminary hearing date for May 5th at 8:30 in the morning.
Y yo le voy a fijar su audiencia preliminar para el 5 de mayo a las 8:30 de la mañana.
I'm also going to set a bond hearing date for May 7th at
También
8:30 in the morning.
le voy a fijar su audiencia para solicitar fianza para el día 7 de mayo a las 8:30 de la mañana.
Okay.
Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
¿Quiere usted que yo mire si usted califica para nombrarle un abogado?
Sí, por favor.
Yes, please.
Are you currently working, sir?
Actualmente, ¿está usted trabajando, señor?
Sí, estoy trabajando, pero
Yes, I'm working.
About how much do you make per hour?
Más o menos, ¿cuánto gana usted por hora?
no les sé decir, pero yo trabajo por día, me pagan $180 el
¿Me
día.
pagan?
$180 por día.
I wouldn't know, but they pay me $180 a day because I work per day.
Okay, I'm going to find that you qualify and I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you.
Yo voy a encontrar que usted califica y le voy a nombrar un abogado para que lo represente.
Sí. Gracias.
Thank you.
Do you have any questions of me, sir?
¿Tiene alguna pregunta para mí, señor?
Sí, es que desde que me han traído, desde que me agarraron ayer a las 3 de la tarde, no he platicado con ningún familiar y eso es lo que me preocupa un poco, ¿verdad? Pero y la mera verdad que también quiero preguntar, no sé si me van a trasladar para otra cárcel, no sé, hasta aquí yo no sé, yo aquí no sé nada.
Deme tantito. The truth is that since I was arrested yesterday at 3 p.m., I haven't been able to speak to any of my family member. And that's what concerns me. And the other thing is that I don't know if they're going to transfer me to another jail or what.
So I don't know if you're going to get transferred to another jail, but after this proceeding, you will be allowed to speak to your family.
Yo no sé si a usted lo van a transferir a otra cárcel, pero después de esta audiencia, a usted le van a permitir hablar con sus familiares.
Okay, gracias.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, you're free to go back, sir.
Okay, puede retirarse, señor.
All right, let's switch over to the ladies' side. Who do we have on the ladies' side?
Let's see. I have Garcia, Estaviana Nava Garcia. Last name Nava.
Okay. Ma'am, can you see and understand the interpreter?
Señorita, ¿puede usted ver y entender a la intérprete?
Yes, speak up.
Sí,
Yes.
Did you hear the rights that I gave to the other individuals?
¿Escuchó los derechos que yo le nombré a los otros individuos?
sí,
Yes.
Ma'am, you've been charged with 1 count of simple assault, 1 count of battery, and 1 count of criminal trespass, damage to property.
A usted se le acusa de un cargo de agresión corporal, un cargo de agresión simple, un cargo de invasión o daños a la propiedad.
You're going to have a total bond set at $11,000.
Su fianza total va a ser de $11,000.
There's going to be a stay away provision for you to stay away from Umberto Vicara.
Y va a haber una orden que dice que usted tiene que mantenerse alejada de Humberto Vicaria.
Do you believe you can post this bond, ma'am?
¿Cree usted que va a poder pagar su fianza, señorita?
no sé.
I don't know.
Okay. Do you understand the stay away provision?
¿Entiende usted la orden que dice que usted tiene que mantenerse alejada?
Sí,
Yes.
You're going to have a preliminary hearing date set for May 4th at 8:30 in the morning, but that date will get waived upon your bonding out.
Su audiencia preliminar va a estar fija para el 4 de mayo.
I would encourage you to contact the bonding companies that are authorized to write bonds here in Clayton County, because I believe they can assist you in getting out.
I'm sorry, Judge. Did you say May 4th or May 3rd?
May 4th, I'm sorry.
Ok. Su fianza va a estar, perdón, su audiencia preliminar está fija para el 4 de mayo a las 8:30 de la mañana y esta audiencia se cancela si usted paga su fianza y sale. Y yo le reitero de que usted llame a las compañías fiancistas para ver si ellos le pueden ayudar a pagar su fianza.
ok. ¿Puedo decirle algo? Humberto me dejó saber con mi hermano que iba a retirar los cargos porque, pues, que...
Can I say something? Humberto let me know through my brother that he's going to withdraw the charges.
He should contact the solicitor's office for Clayton County and they will take his statement.
Él debe ponerse en contacto con la fiscalía del condado de Clayton y ellos tomarían su declaración.
It appears that you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer, ma'am. If you want me to appoint a lawyer, I will, and that lawyer can assist you in that task.
Tal parece que usted califica para que yo le nombre un abogado de oficio, señorita, y este abogado le podría ayudar con esto.
Listo.
Yes.
Okay, I've appointed a lawyer to represent you.
Yo le he nombrado un abogado para que la represente
The law firm will be Lister and Holt.
y el bufete de abogado va a ser el de Lister and Holt.
If you don't have any other questions for me, ma'am, you're free to go back.
Señorita, si usted no tiene ninguna otra pregunta para mí, puede retirarse.
Gracias.
Thank you.
Okay, So do we have anybody else on the lady side that needs a Spanish interpreter?
No, Your Honor.
Do we have anybody else on the men's side that needs a Spanish interpreter?
No, Your Honor.
And is there anything that you need? I saw you were in front of the camera on the men's side. Is there anything that I'm missing?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Ms. Bermudez, as always, thank you for your services. You're free to go. Enjoy your weekend. Enjoy your day.
Thank you. You have a good weekend too, Judge.
You too. Okay, let's keep moving on the lady side.
Give me your name.
Tell me your name, ma'am.
Fantasia Blair.
Ms. Blair, you've been charged with 1 count of driving with the license not on person and 1 count of driving on a suspended license. You're gonna have a total bond set at $2,000. Do you believe you can post that bond, ma'am?
Yes.
You're gonna have a preliminary hearing date set for May 4th at 8:30 in the morning, but that date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you will get a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
No, thank you.
You're gonna hire your own lawyer?
Do I need a lawyer?
Well, as a lawyer, I believe everybody needs a lawyer. So that's a little bit of a loaded question. You have the right to have a lawyer. You can represent yourself. You have that right also. And if you qualify, you have the right to the appointment of a lawyer. So I'll leave that to you to tell me which of those 3 options you want to choose.
I will represent myself.
Okay. If you don't have any questions of me, ma'am, you're free to go back.
I don't, thank you.
You're welcome.
Janelle Cody.
Okay, Ms. Cody, you are listed as what we call a fugitive from justice. And what that means is that you have charges pending in another jurisdiction. And in this case, you have a warrant for your arrest out of Killeen, Texas, for aggravated assault. And they have indicated that they will extradite you. So have you spoken to anyone about this this situation yet?
No, I mean, other than my parents.
Okay. Do you have a lawyer representing you in Texas?
No.
Okay, so
I'm not from Texas. I haven't been to Texas. I don't know what is going on.
okay, so you have a right to challenge this issue, and it will be through what's called a habeas hearing or extradition hearing. So you don't have charges pending here in Clayton County. We are holding you under an intergovernmental compact, which means the states have all agreed that, hey, Georgia, if we want somebody that we believe has committed a crime in Georgia, if in Texas they encounter you, they agree to hold you for Georgia. So Georgia is now holding you for Texas. And at that habeas hearing, the only things that are going to be determined is that if you are Janelle Lois Cody, and if there are charges pending against you in Texas that are valid charges, meaning that if this were to go to trial, you could be convicted of it, right? So at that habeas hearing, the only thing the judge would be determining here in Georgia is whether you are the person named and whether this charge of aggravated assault by threatening bodily injury with a deadly weapon is actually a crime in Texas.
If
That's the only thing that we will be determining. At the end of that hearing, that habeas hearing, and I need you to stay with me for a moment, ma'am, okay? Are you hearing me?
Yeah.
Okay. The only thing that will be determined at that hearing is whether you are that person named and whether that charge is actually pending and valid. And if at the end of that hearing, that is what is determined, then the judge will sign off on the writ of extradition, and then Texas at that point has a time period up to 60 days to come and get you. If today you believe that you are the person named in that warrant, that you are Janelle Lois Cody, and that these charges are possibly pending, you can waive your right to the habeas hearing, and the clock will begin to run today for Texas to come and get you. Texas will have up to 60 days to come and get you, but there's an initial 30-day period.
I have to stay here for 30 days. Like, they can't just send me. Like, I'll buy my own ticket. I will go.
Okay, I will address that. I will address that in a moment, ma'am. So if you were to waive your right to that hearing today, Texas, the clock will begin to run today for the state of Texas to come and get you. And if at the end of that period of time, the state of Texas doesn't come and get you, the sheriff's department here will contact Texas and say, hey, you didn't come and get her, we're gonna release her. But it doesn't dismiss the warrant. So you can leave out the front door, and 5 minutes later, you can be at a bus stop, and police officer comes and stops you and runs your information and determines that, yes, there is a warrant for your arrest, and they'll take you back into custody. So tell me the issue that you want me to address, ma'am.
Possible to, like, not wait 30 days. Like, if I fund my own transportation, can I just go ahead and go and not wait for them to come get me? Like, I don't.
And that will be something that the Clean Texas office would have to agree to. So again, Clayton County has no interest in you at all. We're holding you because there's a warrant. If Clean Texas calls the sheriff's department tomorrow and say, release her, they will release you. Okay, so that's why I asked about whether you had a lawyer in Texas.
I can get one.
So I don't know at this point, and it appears that you don't know at this point, what is the response that they will give to that question. Because if they say no, you're going to be sitting here until they come and get you. So that's why I was saying I need you to be present with me so that we can talk about this and that you can engage in a conversation about what is in your best interest at this moment, okay? So, do you have an understanding of the things that I've told you about your rights and your ability to waive the habeas hearing, to have the habeas hearing? Do you have an understanding right now of what is it that you desire to do?
I know who I am, and obviously they're gonna keep me on these charges, so ain't no point on waiting.
So does that mean that you want to waive your right to the habeas hearing?
Yes or yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. So, ma'am, what's going to happen next? The deputies, they will have the paperwork for you to sign, and they will give the paperwork to me, and then I will sign it, and the clock will begin to run today for the state of Texas to come and get you. I would encourage you, if you have the ability, either through family members or whomever, to have a lawyer contact the police department or the district attorney's office down in Texas, because they very well may decide that they'll set a bond for you so that you can get out of Clayton County and you can go to Texas on your own. Okay? So this is just something that you got to work yourself through. But it's not an impossible thing to work through. Do you understand that? Do you have any questions of me, Miss Cody?
No.
Okay. Once you sign the paperwork, the deputies will allow you to go back.
How you doing, Yada? Sergeant Waller.
Hi.
Who you have next? I'm sorry, I'm just killing it.
Oh, Green. I have Deisha Green, Deasia Green.
Here you go right here.
Okay, Miss Green, you've been charged with 1 count of simple battery, 1 count of public drunkenness. Your total bond is going to be set at $4,000. There's going to be a stay away provision on your bond to stay away from a Trevis Buford. Do you believe you can post this bond, ma'am?
Yes, I can, but me and Travis didn't have any altercations. I was on the party bus with my friends. My friends left me, their cars were parked in my home. They left me at the club, so I was outside the club, talking to the security, like having my little, exotic moment, crying. When my ride, the officer pulled up from me. I had a couple more friends in the club. They tried to talk to me, but I went to the gas station because my parents finna proceed to send me an Uber, but not knowing my kid's father was on the way to come get me. When Travis pulled up, he pulled up in a Temper Mama, but he just pushed me in the car. And I'm drunk, so I'm trying to let him know he's gonna push on me like that. We never physical altercation. He asked the officer, can I go home? And the officer decided to bring me here. I never put my hands on anybody. I wasn't in the public acting out on anything. And the security officer was trying to let him know that too, but I can post bail on those charges.
Okay, at this point, ma'am, these are mere allegations. The state of Georgia is going to have to prove this beyond a reasonable doubt. So, as I said earlier, I'm not here to determine whether you're guilty or innocent. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
No, I just post my bond.
Okay, so are you going to hire your own lawyer? You're going to represent yourself?
Can I get a public defender?
Yes, that was the question of me asking if you wanted me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer.
Yes, but if I can post bond, then I'll just go and post my bond.
So, ma'am, those two things are not connected.
Okay.
So they're not connected at all. You do qualify for the appointment of a lawyer. If you want me to do so, I will.
Yes, I can get a public defender.
Okay. You do qualify. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. You're going to have a preliminary hearing date of May 4th at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Do you have any other questions for me, Ms. Green?
Yes. So how much is my bond?
$4,000.
I can post it today through the
Yes,
bond.
ma'am.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're free to go back.
So I just post my bond and I can get out?
So just so you understand, I do the paperwork through this hearing process. So the longer I'm here doing this hearing, the longer you're gonna sit in jail. Cause I do that after I'm done with meeting with everybody.
So you post my bond. Thank you.
Okay, you're free to go back, ma'am.
Thank you.
You go back to your room. Next person going up there, tell me name.
Ms. Johnson? Are you Miss Johnson?
I am not.
Tell me your name, ma'am.
Alicia Lewis.
Okay, ma'am, you are also listed as a fugitive from justice. And did you hear what I was saying to the other person?
I did.
Texas? So you're in the same situation, but there's a warrant for you out of Orange County, Florida. And sorry, it's hard to read the handwriting. So there's a warrant for your arrest out of Orange County Sheriff's Department in Florida. And it says for fraud.
Mm-hmm.
So if you know that you are Alicia F. Lewis and that it's a possibility that this warrant exists, you can either have a habeas hearing to determine whether those factors are true, or you can waive your right to that hearing.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, so I spoke to my attorney already. They've asked me to waive my extradition.
Okay, so you do have an attorney in Florida?
I have an attorney here and in Florida, yeah.
Okay, so is it your desire to waive your right to the hearing?
They just mentioned to waive my right to extradition.
Okay, so let's be clear. You said they mentioned it. Is it your desire to waive that right?
It is, because they were still trying to determine whether or not there was a bond set and trying to understand what this is, both parties on both sides of the state. So we agreed that waiving that extradition, as they said, would be the best option because it could take longer.
Okay, so do you have any questions of me about this process?
Is there a bond that they had set, or was there a provision for it?
So I don't have that information before me. If there's a bond set, that bond will be set in Florida. And so I've been a defense lawyer in private practice for more than 20 years. And so in these circumstances, we would generally have someone to try to get the bond set in the other jurisdiction, because it's better for them because they don't have to expend the money to come and get you.
Correct.
And by having a lawyer, generally they understand that, okay, this person has taken the obligation upon themselves to hire a lawyer, and they work out the conditions. So it sounds like you've hired a lawyer and you're going through that process.
Correct, I have.
Okay, so is it your desire to waive the right to the habeas hearing?
Correct, yeah.
Okay, so the deputies will give you paperwork to sign, and once you sign that paperwork, you'll be free to go back.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Tell me your name, ma'am.
Kyla Johnson.
Okay, Miss Johnson, you've been charged. Well, let me ask it this way: do you know what you've been charged with?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so at this point, bond is going to be denied on this charge. I'm going to set a preliminary hearing date for May 5th at 8:30 in the morning. I'm going to also set a bond hearing date for May 7th at 8:30 in the morning. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You do qualify. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. I don't know anything about these charges more than what I have read on this piece of paper. So if there's something more to this, your lawyer could probably speak to the district attorney's office and get you a consent bond set. Do you have any questions of me?
Could you repeat the dates for the court hearing?
Okay, May 5th for the preliminary hearing and May 7th for the bond hearing. And I have appointed a lawyer to represent you. Now you're free to hire a lawyer if you want, and if you're able, but I have appointed a lawyer to represent you.
Yes, sir.
Any other questions?
No, sir.
Okay, you're free to go back. Tell me your name, ma'am.
Mona Kai Stafford.
Okay, ma'am, you've been charged with 2 driving related offenses and 2 drug related offenses. Your total bond is going to be set at $8,000. Do you believe you can post that bond, ma'am?
Yes, I can.
Okay, you're going to have a preliminary hearing date set for May 5th at 8:30 in the morning. That date is going to get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes.
Okay, you do qualify, ma'am. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions of me?
No.
Okay, you're free to go back.
Thank you.
Next.
That was it.
Don't let the door swing.
Hi, I'm Cynthia Waller.
Okay, Ms. Waller, you've been charged with 1 count of stalking. I set the bond at $5,000, and I have placed a stay away provision on your bond to stay away from Billy McCaleb. Do you believe you can post his bond, ma'am?
Well, if I'm able to use my debit card, it's down, they have it. If I'm able to go and get it, or if someone's able to get it for me, because it's here, that's the only way.
You would have to speak to the sheriff's office personnel as it relates to that, because I don't know the answer to that question. But you're going to have the ability to post this bond by paying the entire amount by cash, a bonding company, or by property.
Okay.
Okay. You're going to have a preliminary hearing date that's going to be set for May 4th at 8:30 in the morning. That date to get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Do you want me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Sure. And with the stay away order, we have a child together. So how does that work? We're okay now. I did speak to him yesterday, so I don't know how that works.
So we place stay away provisions on these types of offenses because we don't know you, we don't know Mr. McCaleb, we don't know what was going on. And so if this is a misunderstanding or something like that, that can get resolved. If this police were contacted right before you drove a knife through his chest, we don't know. If Mr. McCaleb is not afraid of you, he can contact the solicitor's office and tell them that he's not afraid of you, and this condition can get changed. But that's going to be something that he's going to have to do because I don't have the ability to speak to Mr. McCaleb.
So when you say condition, that you're just meaning the stay away order or the stalking as well?
Well, the stay away.
Okay.
The stay away, that's the only thing that's before me right now.
Okay.
All right. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes.
Okay, you do qualify, Ms. Waller. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions of me?
No, sir.
Okay, you're free to go back.
Thank you.
Are you Miss Washington?
Yes.
Okay, ma'am, you've been charged with 1 count of theft by taking. The bond is going to be set at $5,000. The theft is a felony charge. So you're going to have a preliminary hearing date set for May 5th at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you get a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes.
Okay, you do qualify, Ms. Washington. I am going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions of me, ma'am?
No.
Okay, you're free to go back.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Is that it on the lady side?
I got it coming. Tell me your name.
Sharon Miller.
Not keep that mask on. And I got one more.
Did she say Miller?
Yes, sir.
Okay, give me a second, ma'am.
Did you sign on the paper this morning?
I don't have a Miller on my calendar. I don't have a Miller on my calendar.
Okay, what's your,
I do have a Sam Tricia Smith that her LE number is 1381054. But I don't have a Miller. If you give me a second, I'll see if she is if she's on tomorrow's calendar. No, I don't see her on tomorrow's calendar.
I think the lady's logged off, Your Honor. I can double check. Were you still missing some women?
Well, yeah, I'm still missing Tim Tressa Smith, but we'll keep it moving.
Yes, sir. I'll call over there and double check while you're doing it, guys.
Okay. All right, so who we got first on the male side?
Here you go, Your Honor. Tell me your last name.
AK, tell me your name, sir. Okay, sir, you've been charged with 1 count of theft by receiving stolen property being a motor vehicle, 1 count of concealing the ID of a motor vehicle, and 1 count of improper use of a dealer tag. You're gonna have a total bond set at $21,000. Do you believe you can post that bond, sir?
If it's a property, yes.
I'm sorry, did you say yes?
Yes. If you can make it a property bond.
Yes, you have the ability to post a property bond, cash bond, or go through a bonding company. So those are the options that are going to be available to you.
Okay.
Give me 1 second. You're going to have a preliminary hearing date set for May 5th at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Do you want me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer? How much do you make per hour?
Make like $80 a day.
Okay. You do qualify. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions for me, sir?
No, sir.
Okay, you're free to go back.
Go back. Tell me now.
Alan?
You're Mr. Allen?
Yes, sir.
Okay, sir, you've been charged with 2 counts of violating Georgia's Controlled Substance Act. These are both felonies. I've set the total bond at $10,000. Do you believe you can post that bond, sir?
Yes.
Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes.
You do qualify, Mr. Allen. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. You're going to have your preliminary hearing date set for May 5th, but that date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Do you have any questions of me, sir?
No, sir.
Okay, you're free to go back.
Thank you.
Have your name, sir? Mr. Anderson, you've been charged with 1 count of violation of Georgia Controlled Substance Act, 1 count of obstructing an officer, and 1 count of giving or wrong turn signal. You're gonna have a total bond set of $7,500. Do you believe you can post that bond, sir?
Yeah.
You're gonna have a preliminary hearing date set for May 5th at 8:30 in the morning. The date is gonna get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify? It looks like you said you're gonna get your own lawyer. You're gonna hire your own lawyer? Okay, if you don't have any questions of me, Mr. Anderson, you're free to go back. Have your name, sir?
Mr. Curtis Phillips.
I'm sorry?
Mr. Curtis Phillips.
Okay. Sir, you've been charged with theft by deception, identity fraud, conspiracy to commit a crime, and racketeer influence and corrupt organization, which is commonly called RICO. You're going to have a $10,000 bond set for each of these offenses for a total bond of $40,000. Do you believe you can post that bond, sir?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You're going to have a preliminary hearing date set for May 5th at 8:30 in the morning. That date is going to get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify? It looks like you said you have John Milnick as your lawyer?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do you have any questions of me?
No, sir.
Okay, you're free to go back.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So by me pose a bond, a $40,000 bond, I can bond out today and be free?
Yes, sir. I'm the person responsible for doing the paperwork, and when we're done with this whole thing, I will send the paperwork over to the sheriff's department, and then they will start entering the information into their system. And once that is done, you will be able to bond out.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
I see we're back up on the ladies' side.
Oh, they didn't know about it.
Yes, Your Honor. I had someone kick out the plug by accident. And I do have one left, Your Honor.
Okay.
That's Smith,
Yes.
Symmetria Smith.
Yes. Well, I'll come back to the men's side in a second. Let me do Ms. Smith.
Yes, no.
Ms. Smith, you're charged with one count of violation of Georgia Controlled Substance Act. Bond is going to be set at $5,000. Do you believe you can post that bond, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you're going to have a preliminary hearing date set for May 5th at 8:30 in the morning. That date is going to get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Do you want me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
No, sir, I have Julius Collins.
Okay. If you don't have any questions for me, Ms. Smith, you're free to go back.
What's the for that? What's the like? I'm trying to explain it. What's the for that the act? What is that like? The charge I was charged with? I wasn't understanding of the charge.
It was saying that you had gummies, like the marijuana infused gummies.
Yeah, that it wasn't my car or anything. It was I was stopped for a license. And he seen that in the car. I explained to him that it wasn't my car or that wasn't my stuff. I said, I'm told him I'm pregnant. I have seizures. I sat in his car, urinated on myself. He did not care. I almost had a seizure in his car. Nothing happened until I got to the jail and he told someone to get me out his car because I'm fake hyperventilated or something. I didn't even know that I was arrested until I got here.
Okay, so what you're facing now are mere allegations of the state saying that you did something wrong. The state of Georgia is going to have to prove it beyond a reasonable doubt. And you should explain or, explain all of that to your attorney so that you can be well represented. Okay, any other questions, ma'am?
No, sir.
Okay, you're free to go back.
That's all the females I have, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. Have a good weekend.
You as well, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right. Are you Mr. Tell me your name, sir?
Avery Gory.
Okay, sir. You've been charged with one count of homicide by vehicle. I'm gonna set your bond at $20,000. Do you believe you can post that bond, sir?
Yes, sir.
You're gonna have a preliminary hearing date set for May 5th at 8:30 in the morning. That date is gonna get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Do you plan on hiring your own lawyer, representing yourself, or do you want me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
You can see if I qualify you on.
Okay. You do qualify, sir, so I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions of me?
No, sir, I don't.
I'm sorry?
No, sir, I do not.
Okay, you're free to go back, Mr. Gorey.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Tell me your name, sir.
James Harmon.
Mr. Garman, you've been charged with two counts of violation of Georgia Controlled Substance Act and one count of theft by shoplifting. You're gonna have a total bond set at $12,000. Do you believe you can post that bond, sir?
Yes, sir.
You're gonna have a preliminary hearing date set for May 5th at 8:30 in the morning, but that date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer? Okay. Are you currently working, Mr. Garman? Okay, so you do qualify for the appointment of a lawyer. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions of me, sir? Okay, you're free to go back. Tell me your name, sir.
I'm Gavin Haley.
Hey, Mr. Haley, you're charged with 1 count of aggravated assault and 1 count of cruelty to children in the 3rd degree. The aggravated assault charge bond is going to be denied at this point, but I've set a bond for the cruelty to children in the 3rd degree at $5,000. I've also placed a stay away provision on your bond to stay away from a Shakira Shannon. You're going to have a preliminary hearing date set for May 5th at 8:30 in the morning. You're also going to have a bond hearing date set for May 7th at 8:30 in the morning. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You do qualify, Mr. Haley. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions of me?
Yes, sir. On the aggravated assault, when the bond, I'll be able to put a bond for that
I'm sorry, say that again.
one. You said one bond got denied.
Yes, on the aggravated assault by strangulation charge, the bond has been denied.
So if I post bond on the 3rd degree child cruelty, will I be able to get out or
Yep. No, you're gonna need to have a bond set on that charge. This is a charge that I take seriously, and it doesn't mean that you have to sit in jail until May 5th or May 7th to get out. There may be other factors that I don't know about right now that your lawyer can bring to the attention of the district attorney's office, and they may consent to a bond. Okay, any other questions? All right, you're free to go back, Mr. Haley. Tell me your name, sir.
Leon Jones.
Mr. Jones, you're charged with 1 count of criminal trespass. I've set the bond at $3,000, but I've also placed a stay away provision on this bond to stay away from a mitosia bias. Do you believe you can post this bond, sir?
Yes, sir.
Do you understand the stay away provision?
Yes, sir.
You're going to have a preliminary hearing date that's going to be set for May 4th at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Nah, I'm good.
Okay, you're going to hire your own lawyer, or you're going to represent yourself?
Represent myself.
Okay. If you don't have any questions for me, Mr. Jones, you're free to go back.
All right.
Tell me your name, sir.
Mr. Merle.
Sir, you're charged with 1 count of theft by taking, 1 count of criminal damage to property in the 2nd degree, 1 count of possession of a weapon during the commission of a crime, and 1 count for possession of tools during the commission of a crime. You're going to have a total bond set at $17,000. Do you believe you can post that bond, sir?
Yes, sir.
You're going to have a preliminary hearing date set for May 5th at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Do you want me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes, sir, please.
Okay, you do qualify. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions of me, sir?
No, sir.
Okay, you're free to go back.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Tell me your name, sir.
Perkins.
Did you say Perkins?
Yes, sir.
Okay, sir, you're charged with 1 count of simple assault, 1 count of obstructing an officer, 1 count of reckless conduct, and 1 count of possession of a firearm during the commission of a crime. You're gonna have a total bond set at $12,000. Do you believe you can post that bond, sir?
Yes, sir.
You're gonna have a preliminary hearing date set for May 5th at 8:30 in the morning. That day to get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes, sir.
You do qualify, Mr. Perkins. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions of me?
Just one question. When is the lawyer supposed to contact me?
That is a question I don't know the answer to. Today is Friday, so if you haven't heard from anybody by Tuesday, I would call the Clayton County District Attorney's Office, because the possession of firearm during the commission of a crime is a felony. So I would call them and tell them that they've been appointed to represent you, and you need to speak to a lawyer.
Okay.
Okay. Any other questions, sir?
No, sir.
All right. You're free to go back.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Are you Mr. Robertson?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. Robertson, you've been charged with 1 count of driving a vehicle without a license, 1 count of having a tag, concealing the identity of the vehicle through a tag, and 1 count of a window tint violation. So you have a total bond that's going to be set at $2,000. Do you believe you can post that bond, sir?
Yes, sir, but this is the only question I have. I'm from out of state, so will I have a problem posting a bond? I believe I could touch the 250, 260 or whatever it is. Would I have a problem posting a bond being that I'm from Louisiana? Because when I came out here like 2 weeks ago, I lost every bit of identification I had that I came out of it with. So I could touch it. I just need to know if I should.
So my understanding is that there are some bonding companies that will not write a bond for someone who's out of state.
Right.
There are some bonding companies that will. If you encounter the situation where a bonding company says they don't want to write a bond because you're out of state, you may need to contact someone back home in Louisiana, because bonding companies sometimes work with each other.
So the bonding company from out of state for this state?
Okay. So let me finish. Some bonding companies, so let's say like you're in New Orleans, and there's a bonding company in New Orleans that they say, okay, well, he'll live here, so we will secure the bond. So the bonding company in New Orleans secures the bond, but they can't write the bond in Clayton County. So they contact a bonding company in Clayton County, and they agree between the two of them to secure your bond. So you may have to pay more because of that through the bonding companies, but that is a way that I've seen it done. Okay.
All right, thank you. So $2,000.
Yes, sir. Do you want me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
You can, but I represent myself in this matter.
So you want to represent yourself?
No, look, appointment lawyer, just in case I gotta sit in it.
Okay, how much do you make per hour?
I've been working DoorDash, so I don't have like a stable job. I've been working DoorDash. I was actually working when I got pulled over, so.
So just give me a ballpark figure.
I could say 15 an hour. That depends on DoorDash. So it depends on, like, yeah, it all varies. I'm gonna say, just say 10. I can say 10 hours.
Okay, so you do qualify, sir. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions for me, Mr. Robertson?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you're free to go back. So that took a lot longer than I thought it would, but thank you for your assistance. You have a good day and a good weekend, and I'll see you again on Monday.
Yes, sir, Your Honor.
All right.